DHS officers arrived at my client's apartment to verify that they were a real married couple. Let me give you some background. About a year ago, October of 2024, we filed a marriage-based adjustment of status for this couple. Now, they're a mature couple, and the reason I mention that is because they don't have as many documents to prove where they live because the petitioner is already retired, for example, and the immigrant does not work because of a lack of employment authorization. And they live with the petitioner's family. So none of the bills, there's no rental agreement, the utility bills are all in the family's names, not in their names. So they simply just did not have as much paperwork as a couple who were perhaps both still working on payroll somewhere, had their own apartment, utility bills, etc. Okay, so during the course of this year, they get an RFE, a request for evidence, for more evidence. They do their best to provide us with more, letters from friends and family, whatnot, affidavits, and we submit it. They finally get an interview recently, a few months ago, and at the interview, everything does go well, but we still don't get a decision in the mail. Then they informed me about a month ago that two DHS officers knocked on their door, and the immigrant opens the door, or the intending immigrant, my client, opens the door, and they present themselves, and they ask to speak to his wife, the U.S. citizen petitioner, and lo and behold, she is there. Okay, he calls her, and they both come to the door, and they have a quick chat because it is a bona fide relationship, right? In fact, it's a very long-standing relationship. So the officers speak to them very briefly, maybe 5 minutes, and of course they're convinced that it's real because they were both there. And the officers actually even told them, I've never heard of this before. The officer actually said, "Okay, your case is going to be approved," and they leave. Okay, then probably fast forward, a couple months later. Just this month, October 2025, we finally got the approval notice. So their green card, their adjustment of status is approved, and he received his green card. So that's the great news. The reason I tell the story is because it's a cautionary tale, okay? I've said it in other videos. It is worth it to take the extra 2-3 months, let's say after you marry and move in with each other, to get all that paperwork together. You're eventually going to get the bills established in each other's names, the joint bank account, and all those things. Whatever you were going to do after you got married, some people are so eager that they want to file today, right? But I tell them, look, get the paperwork together. It's worth it. Because if not, you could get your case sent to investigations. Now, these clients got lucky because 1 year is still a good processing time. It's not as fast as the current 6-month interviews we're getting, or even less, but nonetheless, 1 year is still fine. But some people's cases who get sent to investigation, we're talking about 2 years, maybe 3 years before those officers come knocking on your door, right? So they got lucky in this case.